Someone asked if studying other arts is essential to Jeet Kune Do, and we ended up talking about language. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel. Welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast number 364. This is the one about Jeet Kune Do, other arts, and the language in between. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching the simulcast over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. But of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcasts. So I'm going to tackle something that started with a familiar question, right? Which, like I said, is studying other martial arts essential to Jeet Kune Do? Now, at first glance, it seems like a straightforward yes or no topic. But if you go deeper into it, the conversation can take a turn. At least it did in my case, right? And what came out of it was something that I hadn't really planned on, which is that you can't answer the question properly unless you understand something very specific about Jeet Kune Do, which is that Jeet Kune Do has its own language. So we'll do this in two parts. First part, what do we mean in the JKD context by studying other arts? So when I say study another art, I don't mean um, chase a black belt all the way up to black belt. I'm not talking about going all the way through the particular system. What I'm talking about is spending enough time to gain competency, to extract the value that you're looking for, and then move on. So if you look at Bruce Lee, for example, Bruce Lee didn't master every art that he touched. He had conventional training in Wing Chun, but after that, he pretty much sampled strategically. His forays into boxing, fencing, judo, etc., were not designed for him to end up with certificates of rank, but were designed for him to end up with insight. So, no, you don't have to become an expert in other arts to become proficient in JKD. But sometimes being a JKD practitioner, being a JKD student will send you outward, so to speak, to investigate, to compare and contrast, but then most importantly, return with something useful. Okay, so that's the first part. Second part is the language of JKD. And this is the part that not a lot of people miss, except for the guy who posted the original question. He really missed it. I said that JKD has its own language, and he pushed back saying JKD doesn't have a language, it's just English. Well, yeah, the terms, so to speak, are in English, except for when people talk about Paksao Guach, Paksao Lapsao Guachoya and that type of stuff. But even though the terms are in English, that doesn't mean that JKD isn't speaking its own dialect. And it's a dialect developed from its unique concepts, its training methods, and its philosophy. So to be clear, when I say language, I am not talking about um, the English or even other or foreign towns. I'm using it in the defined context of meaning the phraseology and vocabulary of a particular profession, a particular domain, or a particular group. The phraseology and vocabulary of a particular profession, a particular domain, or a particular group. So just like you have the terms legal language or medical language, there is also JKD language, which is why JKDers can talk about ABC and you know what's meant. ABD, PIA, HIA, FIA, SDA, SAA, and other JKDers will know what you mean. People from outside of Jeet Kune Do, not so much. that is a language, because these things, right, ABC and ABD, etc., they're not just acronyms. These are strategic concepts. These are strategic concepts that have been condensed into shorthand. So they are part of our vocabulary. They're part of our JKD language. And when I talk about JKD language, I'm not talking about some secret elitist code. I am talking about a framework with a unique terminology that communicates its ideas quickly and clearly. But you got to know how to talk the language. If you don't, later for you, right? So this is how it comes full circle. In studying another art, briefly, strategically, whatever, that is one way to refine your understanding of JKD's language, because in JKD, it's not about adopting, it's about translating and integrating what you've seen through the JKD lens. So if you take Muay Thai, for example, JKD man doesn't study Muay Thai to become a Thai boxer. He studies it to understand the rhythm, the structure, the timing, the power of the kick, the structure of the clinch, that type of thing, so that he can come back to JKD with more tools, not more techniques, not more moves, but with more tools. So ultimately, is studying other arts essential to Jeet Kune Do? No, not not as a rule, but yes, as a likely result of correctly applying the JKD mindset. The JKD mindset will very often send you out there to investigate to see what you can come back with. And does JKD have its own language? Absolutely. It's just that a lot of people, and if you look at the comments, I'm not going to tell you where to go. If you can look for it yourself. But if you look at the comments, you'll see that a lot of people get it, right? And I would say the majority of people that commented did get it, except for the guy who posted the original question. Um, 'Cause what he doesn't understand is that you're listening to a dialect. In JKD, you're hearing a dialect that takes time and takes training to understand. So that's it. If you got thoughts on this, drop a comment, share this episode, and as always, keep seeking, keep training, keep questioning everything. Right? If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods. At paypal.me/unifiedma Miami, paypal.me/unifiedma Miami. You can find the raw but edited version of the Jeet Kune Do Journey Volume 1, paypal.me/unifiedma Miami. Also, head over on the Facebook to JKD Drills and like and follow over there, so that when it's up and running, you guys will know, you'll be among the first to be part of it. And so here's the thing. So I try to do the Ask Me Anything episodes of the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues on the last Friday of every month. So the last Friday of this month will be this Friday, so we'll do that. And I know I haven't had a guest on for a while, but things have been coming up, and so people who were scheduled to come on at the last second, sometimes they drop out and whatever. But I did talk with one of the most popular JKD guys in the world. I spoke with him today, and so he's next in the pipeline. Next Friday, we will be on the road. Where are we going next Friday? Next Friday, we're heading out to Cas Magda's All Knife, All Weekend seminar. So I probably won't be able to do an episode of the dialogues next Friday, but we'll see. You never know, right? One day I'll get it all together. Okay, so that is it for me for today, which is beige, brown, our pink day, right? So this is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel. This was the one about um, Jeet Kune Do, other arts, and the language in between. I'll see you next week, same time for another issue of the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk soon. Take care.